Our next storyteller is Linda Urbach. She tells me she's a famous novelist. She's had several books published. Her latest one is going to be published in July. Madame Bovary's Daughter. So if you need to know what happens next, that's the book. She also runs a series of workshops called Memoirs, I think I have that right, Memoirs for Moms to Write. She says she's terrified of standing up here, but I happen to know that she's a great storyteller. Linda, over to you.
Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the clouds, I forgot the words, it's okay. Wherever I lived, no matter where I called home, I never felt as if I belonged, ever. Starting in New York City in the 1980s, I married Howard, a French horn player. And he owned a building. Why did I bring glass on? He owned a brownstone on West 71st Street, and he was the landlord and the super, which made me the landlord's wife. And I really wasn't comfortable with that. And I would hide when I heard people coming down from upstairs because I was truly afraid they were going to ask me to fix the radiator or they were going to complain about the rent was too high. And sometime later there was an opening in the Door Realty, which was across Broadway, and it was this gorgeous turn-of-the-century building that was very run down at the time because the man who owned the building didn't know how to be a landlord. So there was a rent strike going on, there was no hot water, there was no heat, it was occupied by out-of-work musicians and starving artists. I couldn't wait to move in. I can belong here. Well, we moved in and we scraped the kitchen and sanded the floors, and then Howard left me for a ballet dancer. So there I was, again, not funny, there I was, living in a 9-room apartment all by myself. And I said, I sure don't belong here. I mean, this is too big a place. So I looked around for a cheaper place in the area, and all the rents were higher. 1.5 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartments were twice as much as the $700 I was paying for my apartment. So I took in roommates. First there was Molly. That's how she wore her hair. Molly never talked. She was like in deep depression the whole time she lived with me. So then I took in Birgit. Birgit was German. So whereas Molly didn't talk, Birgit only spoke in German. And I took in a couple more people. I don't even remember their names, but I felt like I didn't belong in my own apartment. Then I met Tucker. Where are you, Tucker? There's Tucker. I met Tucker, and at first, he didn't move in. He lived on 110th Street, I lived on 71st Street, and we kept our separate apartments. But then he took me up to meet his family. Now, I had no family. I have no family. Even when I had a family, I didn't have a family, okay? He took me up to Harwich Port. That's on the Cape. And I met Tucker's family. And it was a big family of wasps. Real wasps. And I'm a nice Jewish girl from Denver, so I didn't know. There was besides Tucker or Tucky, there was Stocky, these are the brothers, Stocky, Rocky, FT, Brooksy, all true, Kathy, Flopsy, Mopsy. Anyway, I made a great impression when I went up there. They had a boat. And my ex-husband, Howard, had a boat, so I knew all about sandpaper. And I said to his father, we need 120 sandpaper. And he just thought I was God's gift. So anyway, the important thing about this family is for the first time I felt even with the weird names, I felt like I belonged. And we finally moved in together. I got rid of the roommates. I brought Tucker in. And lo and behold, the apartment went co-op. Out went the starving musicians. Out went the out-of-work artists, or vice versa. And in came epaulets. Doormen with epaulets and gold hats. And following quickly thereafter came the celebrities. Robin Leach, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Hi, Robin, can I borrow a cup of caviar? Daryl Hannah with John Kennedy Jr. They were dating. Marc Jacobs, the world-famous designer, lived there with his Dalmatian dog. Hi, Bingo, love the spots. Anyway, overnight it turned into the fanciest apartment on the west side. And again, I felt out of place. I didn't feel like I belonged. Nile Rodgers, who lives in Westport, had an apartment upstairs, and he invited all these famous people. And we would ride up and down in the elevators, hoping to sort of mingle. Anyway, because I had this sense of family, thanks to the Clarks, I suddenly felt kind of like I could go out in the world, like I could go to strange foreign places, like I could do something wild. So we moved to Connecticut. Now, before moving to Connecticut, we went around and we looked at all these farmhouses. And I thought, that's so cute. Everybody's got a farmhouse and they all have gardens and they raise tomatoes. So I really believed that people in Westport were truck farmers. And I thought the prices on the houses are going to be a steal. Little did I know that everybody bought their tomatoes at what was heyday at the time. Anyway, we moved up to Connecticut and something happened between Tucker and I. Tucker, are you okay? This is the sad part. Okay. So what happened was we got divorced. And the worst part of getting divorced, except for the divorce, was, oh my God, I'm going to lose the family. I'm going to lose my sense of belonging. I'm going to lose my shelter. And Tucker being Tucker, and the Clarks being the Clarks, I still have that family today. And so we divvied up. He got Westport. I got the family. Actually, we share custody. So shelter to me means people. And I think I have time for another song. Blue moon, you saw me standing.